I'm Liz Faublis, and this is Currents. It's the end of January, but this group held a New Year celebration.
We are celebrating this year is the year 4710. This is according to the Chinese calendar.
Plus, the state of Catholic schools in the Diocese of Brooklyn.
We have people who are competent to make decisions about education, about the financing of education, and it's proven itself.
And a time to celebrate at a parish in Queens.
Chúc mừng năm mới is basically Happy New Year.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Well, it was a New Year's celebration to remember at a Brooklyn church, and it happened only last weekend. It was the diocese's Chinese Catholics who were ringing in the Year of the Dragon. Now, according to the Chinese calendar, we are now in the year 4710 and will be through February 9th of next year. And Chinese Catholics kicked things off at St. Rosalia Church in Bensonhurst, the site of the diocese's Asian Pastoral Center. The celebration saw the traditions of the East brought to the heart of Brooklyn. We sent our cameras to check it all out.
Today we're celebrating the Chinese New Year here in the Asian Center of the parish of Regina Pacis St. Rosalia. We have two different kinds of systems to celebrate the passing of time. And one system is the solar system. The Asian community celebrates the lunar year. So this is the beginning of the new lunar year.
The year we are celebrating this year is the year 4710. This is according to the Chinese calendar. This is because Chinese people started to count their calendar by the first year of the Emperor Huangdi, the Yellow Emperor. During his time, he established that this new calendar that they start to count from the first year of his dynasty.
Your ancestors gave us not only life, but they gave us a culture, a tradition, and more important, faith. Believe in God and believe in Jesus Christ. For the celebration of the New Year, we will also have after Mass a celebration of the veneration of the ancestors.
First, we offer incense. When we offer incense, we pray that our prayers rises like incense all the way to heaven. We offer flowers to our ancestors to express our love. We always remember them, and we know that they are watching over us, and so we express our love. And then we offer fruit. Fruit is a symbol of achievement. We pray that we continue to imitate those virtues, those merits, and be good fruits, be good children and grandchildren of our ancestors.
The Chinese apostolate has a great potential because more and more immigrants are coming into our diocese. They're very active, they're very faith-filled people.
It is very difficult to be a Catholic in China. The government is afraid of the Catholic Church, and so the government requires that every members of any faith should register with the government, and those who refuse to register with government is considered outlaw. But as I tell my parishioners, the best thing we can do is to pray that the church in China may one day be one, and enjoy the freedom that we take for granted here in the United States.
Keep up with your culture, keep up with your values, and above all, keep up with your sense of family life and your sense of love and life. Happy New Year to each and every one of you.
Stay tuned, there's more currents ahead. Is it a game change in a bid to legalize same-sex marriage in New Jersey? We'll find out and get the rest of the day's headlines next. Welcome back to Currents. I'm Liz Faublas. Coming up later, we'll take you to another New Year celebration in the diocese. But first, let's have a look at the day's headlines. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is offering a legislative alternative to a bill that would legalize same-sex marriage in the state. Christie says he supports putting the issue to a ballot referendum to let the voters decide it. Democrats say they have enough votes to pass a bill, but Christie, who opposes same-sex marriage, has promised to veto such legislation. The Senate needs 21 votes to pass the bill and a supermajority of 27 to override a veto. Well, more bishops are speaking out against the new health insurance mandate. Peoria Bishop Daniel Jenkins says the new requirements could result in the closing of every school, hospital, and other public ministry of the church. Now, according to the Peoria Journal-Star, Jenkins' statement comes in a letter that he is asking to be read at every Mass in his diocese this weekend. The news comes a week after the Department of Health and Human Services announced that most religious organizations would be required to cover contraception and sterilization in employee health plans. Well, that announcement has also raised the ire of Pittsburgh Bishop David Zubik, who says the new requirements come like a slap in the face. In a statement, Zubik says the Obama administration is telling Catholics in the U.S. to hell with you. Zubik says a million things are wrong with the mandate, citing the categorization of pregnancy as a disease and that employers will be required to cover abortion-inducing drugs. The bishop is encouraging Catholics to contact President Obama and representatives in Washington. Elsewhere, keeping the faith in the White House. That was just one of the hot topics of discussion during last night's Republican debate. In fact, the discussion on religion closed out the highly charged evening.
How would your religious beliefs, if you're elected, impact the decisions that you make in the office of the presidency?
Congressman Paul?
Well, my religious beliefs wouldn't affect it. My religious beliefs affects my character and the way I treat people and the way I live.
I would also seek the guidance of Providence in making critical decisions. And of course, ours is a nation which is based upon Judeo-Christian values and ethics.
Anyone who's president is faced with decisions so enormous that they should go to God. They should seek guidance, because these are decisions beyond the ability of mere mortals to truly decide without some sense of what it is we should be doing.
The Constitution is there to do one thing: protect God-given rights. That's what makes America different than every other country in the world. No other country in the world has its rights based in God-given rights, not government-given rights. And so when you say, well, faith has nothing to do with it, faith has everything to do with it.
Last night was the last debate before Florida primary voters head to the polls on Tuesday. Well, the Bishop of Kansas City, St. Joseph, will stand trial later this year on charges that he failed to report suspected child abuse by a priest. Prosecutors allege Bishop Robert Finn knew of the discovery of possible child pornography on a priest's computer, but failed to notify police for 5 months. Finn apologized for mishandling the case. The priest has pled not guilty to state and federal charges. Today's news comes the same week that the Diocese of Kansas City, St. Joseph, announced it was planning another priest on another priest on administrative leave. Now, the diocese did not provide details as to why it made that move. Over in Spain, officials consider revising the country's abortion laws. The country's Minister of Justice saying proposed changes will require that minors who wish to undergo the procedure obtain parental consent. He added that the reform would reinforce protection of the right to life and of minors. The Justice Minister has criticized current law, which went into effect July 2010, for allowing abortion on demand up until the 14th week of pregnancy. He says that violates a Spanish constitutional amendment that recognizes everyone has the right to life. Meanwhile, a group of European countries has cast a pro-life vote. Rome Reports has those details.
For the first time in decades, euthanasia has been directly rejected by the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. In a resolution, it says euthanasia, in the sense of the intentional killing by act or omission of a dependent human being for his or her alleged benefit, must always be prohibited. Even though some European countries allow euthanasia, this resolution shows that as a whole, Europe opposes it. It also highlights that intentional killing should not be allowed. The resolution states that when people are faced with an ill family member, one should always opt for pro-life and the extension of life. The Council of Europe is based in Strasbourg, France. It includes 47 European countries. Its objectives are the protection of human rights, rule of law, promoting culture, and consolidating democratic stability. Belgium and Holland, for example, legally allow euthanasia. But this resolution sends a clear message that as a whole, Europe supports the extension of life. Even though the resolution is not legally binding, supporters say it's a symbolic gesture that shows that Europe supports life.
The Catholic aid organization Caritas says more than 120,000 people have been affected by violence in one part of South Sudan. According to Caritas, an ongoing feud between two communities has resulted in entire villages in the Jonglei region being burned to the ground. Officials say violence in the region is taking an increasingly ethnic nature, and workers from Caritas and Catholic Relief Services are currently helping assess the situation. Elsewhere, an American priest will be awarded for his anti-war efforts during the Vietnam War. According to the Cleveland Plain Dealer, Father Harry Burry will be named an honorary citizen of Vietnam on February 1st. Now, Father Burry, who is now 81, is described as a lifelong peace activist who once chained himself to the gates of the U.S. Embassy in Saigon, now Ho Chi Minh City, during the war to protest U.S. military intervention. Now, when asked about the honor, Father Burry replied, he's not one for awards, but as long as God gives him good health, he will continue to work for peace. Well, Pope Benedict says faith may be in danger of becoming extinct. Speaking to members of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, Benedict says faith runs the danger of extinguishing like a flame that runs out of fuel. The Pope says the hopes of the upcoming Year of Faith, which gets underway in October, would prompt a renewal of faith. Now, during his recent ad limina visit to Rome, Washington's Archbishop spoke with Rome Reports about the Pope's message to U.S. bishops.
Cardinal Donald Wuerl of Washington is following up on the Pope's call to fight secularism.
It used to be that across our country, the voices of all were respected. Now there is this emphasis, particularly in the entertainment media, in the information industry, to make everything a secular gray. And to say that there can only be one voice determining public policy, public life, the direction of the community, of the common good, and that voice must be secular.
Cardinal Wuerl is hoping the new evangelization can help to create a revival of Christian values. He says the key to this can be found in Catholic education.
We in our country, and I think this is true probably across a great part of the Western world, we've suffered from under catechesis, poor catechesis, and so we have a generation, two generations, that really does not know the faith.
Cardinal Wuerl is also the author of Seek First the Kingdom, in which he encourages Catholics to challenge many of the status quos of today's culture. He also notes that leading this movement are lay people.
It became very clear to me that many, many people have taken the position that the church, bishops, priests, are the ones that have the responsibility of preaching the gospel and transforming the world. Priests and bishops have the task of preaching the gospel. Laymen and laywomen have the task of transforming the world.
In promoting the new evangelization, Cardinal Wuerl has said he is focusing on three elements. The first being a deepening of Catholic education. Secondly, being comfortable in it, and most importantly, by sharing it.
Stay tuned, there's more currents ahead. Coming up, how Catholic education makes a difference for a new generation.
We've been able to look at the future of the schools. We have established what we call academies with a new governance model, which is critical.
Welcome back. The Super Bowl is a little more than a week away, and that means next week is Media Week in Indianapolis, the site of this year's big game. But for the church, the week is special for a different reason. It's Catholic Schools Week. Each year, a different theme is chosen, and this year, the focus for Catholic Schools Week is on 3 priorities: teaching children the faith, helping them reach their academic potential, and instilling a spirit of service. And in a week when we heard President Obama's State of the Union address, we decided to get an idea of the state of the schools here in the Diocese of Brooklyn. It's the subject of this week's Into the Deep interview with Bishop Nicholas DeMarcio, who sat down with our news director, Ed Wilkinson.
Well, Bishop, once again, nice to see you.
Here we are again. That's good.
We recently heard the State of the Union address by the President, and I thought I might ask you today for a little state of our own Catholic schools here, because you know, we're always concerned about Catholic schools in this diocese. Catholic Schools Week is approaching. How are we doing with Catholic schools, Catholic education in general?
I think we're doing better than we have in the past, because I think we have a strategic plan that will help us preserve Catholic education in the diocese. Unfortunately, as I came to the diocese, there really was only action on schools that were financially bankrupt, and we had to close them. So within 2 years, I think I was able to at least to get the planning process going so that we could preserve schools and not just have to close them. It was usually too late. We couldn't do anything about it. You know, you could, if you had money to let the school go another year, put some kind of remediation plan in, but usually it was well too late to do anything about it. Now with strategic planning, we've been able to look at the future of the schools. We have established what we call academies with a new governance model, which is critical. It's about 30 academies going right now, and we hope that we will make all of our schools academies, because the governance model is truly workable and has shown itself in the last couple of years that we've had it to improve the schools that we have, not only financially but also academically. What's the key element? The key element is that lay people are taking responsibility for the schools. In the past, it was unfortunately just the responsibility of the pastor and the principal. Sometimes it was the school advisory board, sometimes not, sometimes a home and school. But there wasn't any real authority that could be exercised by the people who want a Catholic education, not necessarily the parents, but others who had expertise and were interested in Catholic education. With this new model, we see that happening, that we have people who are competent to make decisions about education, about the financing of education, and it's proven itself, because last year when we looked at the statistics where we lost students, none of the academies lost students, maybe less than 1%, whereas our other schools lost significant amount of students.
Sure.
I mean, significant in the sense comparison. Really, we were very fortunate last year that we only lost about 2,000 students. We were losing 3,000 and 4,000 in the past. So I think we've slowed down the leakage, but now we've got to build things up.
Sure. And Catholic Schools Week is coming up, and it's a time to celebrate Catholic schools. And I know you like to go around and visit some of the schools, right? Tell us what you do when you go on these visits.
Well, usually there's some program the school puts together, and it varies. Sometimes it's a skit, sometimes it's singing, whatever it is. The schools do that, and then it's about a half hour. Then I play a game with the kids. I call it Stump the Bishop. And so they can ask me any question they want, except I learned last year, or the year before actually, I have to limit those questions, because one of these kids got up and asked me a question on the new math. I knew nothing about the new math. I mean, I still do it the old way. So I said anything on religion I would answer. So that kind of, or about myself.
Didn't they ask you once if you were married and had children?
Oh, yeah, they did that too. There was that. Do I have pets? They love to know if you have any pets and other things. And but they're interested. They're interested in the person of the bishop. What do you do as bishop? How did you become bishop? They have all kinds of questions. They really are alive.
And so the plan is for every school in the diocese within the next couple of years to move to this academy model. And that this will, in effect, preserve Catholic education in almost every neighborhood in the diocese.
That's the point of making sure that every area of the diocese has a Catholic school available to them.
Okay, Bishop, enjoy your visits to the Catholic schools, and thanks again for being with us today.
To it. Thank you very much.
Stay tuned. There's more Currents ahead. When we return, ringing in the Lunar New Year at a Queens parish.
Today, the Vietnamese Apostles, we celebrate the Lunar New Year, the Year of Dragon.
Finally tonight, a different setting, a different community, but another New Year's celebration in the Diocese of Brooklyn. Now this time it was the Vietnamese apostolate ringing in the Year of the Dragon, and it was more than just a celebration of the New Year. The Vietnamese Catholics of Brooklyn and Queens also marked a milestone.
Today, the Vietnamese Apostles, we together here and we celebrate the Lunar New Year, the Year of Dragon. Together we pray and thanks. Pray for the New Year's peace, justice, and love.
This community has been around. We're actually celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. So this is a very special New Year's for us. Today, once the priests start their procession, they're going to go to the ancestral altar, and they're going to basically, on behalf of the whole congregation, give thanks and pay their respects to their ancestors.
I take my family here almost every week, every Sunday to worship God here. Even though I live in Whitestone, I go here because of the Vietnamese community and of their celebration of the Eucharist in Vietnamese.
It's really fun, and since I'm Catholic, I really love God and Jesus, and it's fun to pray to God and eat with each other and express love to each other.
It's certainly a very beloved tradition. It gets a little expensive as you age, because you're certainly expected to give out the red envelopes as opposed to just being on the lucky receiving end. It's not about the money, it's just a sign of affection that the elders portray to the younger children.
For kids who are growing up in America, it's good to remind them of their root. Traditional food, bánh mì is like a Vietnamese sandwich. It's adapted from French culture. Bún and thịt nướng, which is barbecue pork.
The line group are my friends, and we really enjoy doing this because we get to have the money and give it to church and donate sometimes to charity.
Chúc mừng năm mới! Chúc mừng năm mới is basically Happy New Year.
The dragon is traditionally thought as a very powerful animal, a very lucky animal. So to whomever the Year of the Dragon is for this year, then I wish them the best of luck.
And that is all for this edition of Currents. Be sure to visit us online at currentsny.net. You can also connect with us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if old-fashioned email is more your thing, drop us a line. The address is dropusaline@currentsny.net. For all of us here at Currents, I'm Liz Faublas. Thank you for watching and have a great night.